It could have been far, far worse. That's something that the police chief even took as an express during that press conference yesterday in Wisconsin. But Manoj, the big question here is that, you know, the FBI monitors internet posts or internet forums where they think that terrorism comes from. Don't they monitor white supremacist forum on the internet as well? And if they do, how could they fail to spot that here was a man who was about to explode and was potentially very, very dangerous?
Well, you know, this is most intelligence agencies and police services, they work on a certain modus operandi. They work with certain blinkers. They are looking only in one direction. It's too late before you know, they get caught up by circumstances, and before they know what's happening, another threat has arisen from somewhere else. And so this is what happened, let us say, in India. If we look at, when we were looking at Pakistani terrorists from across the border in Pakistan, when suddenly we found they were homegrown terrorists, the so-called Indian Mujahideen also active here. So, you know, this is the problem with law enforcement agencies, that they tend to look only in one direction, and that's what's happened in the US, because the people who have kept track of this page are people who are mainly from private NGO groups who were tracking white supremacists and neo-Nazis. And it's they who have got a record of his activities, and not the law enforcement authorities, meaning the law enforcement authorities haven't revealed their hand, but I bet you they probably have nothing on him.
True, but you have to admit it's politically inconvenient as well to actually crack down on white supremacists.
Well, that's what I said. There is a political, the problem is not the guns, as I said. The problem is a certain kind of a political culture, and the political culture does not dwell on white right-wing terrorism. You know, be it in the old days, it used to be the Ku Klux Klan, and now you have these people, because for a long time, I'm saying in the early part of the 20th century, you had hundreds of blacks who were lynched, meaning who were killed, and no one was punished for it. So there is a culture there. There are certain parts of the United States where you have people who are one is that they are ignorant. They are completely ignorant. I'm saying if you mistake Sikhs to be Muslims, I'm saying you've got to be completely ignoramuses. And this comes from a country which formally at least has, well, 99% literacy. I mean, this is not, you can't even say that I am illiterate. You're actually literate but completely uneducated and completely, what should I say, ignorant of the ways of the world or of your own country, because 700,000 of these Sikhs are actually Americans.
No, Shiv, I'd like to bring you in here because, you know, the gun culture has always been a problem in the United States, and yet again, the way this certificate was issued to Wade Michael Page. Now, somebody with that sort of a criminal background, if he was a Muslim, he wouldn't have been issued a gun certificate, that's for sure.
Well, they certainly would have done their homework a lot more before issuing that kind of gun license to a person of any other community. And like Manoj said, it's about political culture, a sense of denial about what's happening on your own turf, you know, and among the majority population in your country, which is what really introduces, you know, all these contradictions in the way things are done. Look at the other things that they missed, Siddharth, apart from everything else. He's white, he's male, he was a member of the Hammerskins National, which is considered one of the most violent propaganda organizations as far as white supremacy is concerned. This is a man who wasn't just doing stuff on the internet, he was doing stuff out there. The FBI has a cell which actually tracks white supremacy and you know, and hate crime organizations, people who actually sort of incite others into committing hate crimes. But they don't. But like I would agree with Manoj when he says that it's quite likely that the police and the FBI didn't have a scrap of information on this particular individual, and that really is about the larger point about political culture and looking the other way. You've got a modus operandi, you're looking at Islamic terrorism, you've got a prejudice towards that, and you just completely deny what's there right in front of you, your own people, the majority in your country.